Welcome everybody to day one of Not at Comic Con. Let's get into it. And for more comics content, head over to genoscomics.wordpress.com. Yes, people, it is the return of San Diego Comic Con, but we're not only celebrating the return of that, we're also celebrating it in fashion with Not at Comic Con, aka NACCC. That's right, the inaugural edition. In day one, we are doing my favorite memories from San Diego Comic Con, the one time I went in 2011, as well as some of my other favorite convention memories from all my nearly 20 years of going to conventions. So let's jump right in with some San Diego Comic Con goodness. And I have a couple of visual aids here. So this one was, again, 2011 was the year I went with a couple buddies. And I don't even know what all this is. This is, oh, schedule, and oh, that's the shuttle schedule. And what the hell is this? Oh, hotels, some shop locations, oh, stop locations for the shuttle. And then Showtime, I guess, was a sponsor. Thank you for your generous shuttle sponsor, Comic-Con 2011. So, Comic-Con was, San Diego Comic-Con was always just this big event. You see it on G4 all the time. I think with G4 with E3. It's like, man, I would love to go out there someday. Comics, the cosplay, vendors, just soaking up all that good nerd fun. And just wasn't sure if I was ever going to get to go, but 2011 was the year. Turned out perfect and such a wild time. I have a bunch of pictures thrown up throughout this video, but yes, it was fantastic. The weather was great. San Diego is a great city. I've been there several times, and that's the city I would definitely love to live in if I ever moved out that way. But yes, it was just so much. What is this? This is just something like a guide there for Gaslamp District, Gaslamp Quarter, World Class Dining, San Diego Attractions. One stop, you ever go to San Diego, especially for Comic Con, get out to the convention center, go to Gaslamp Pizza. Fantastic. I had some barbecue chicken pizza there. I remember grabbing a slice. I was walking out. It was like, I think it was Friday or Saturday. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me go step out in the city and get something to eat. Walk around. Oh, pizza spot. Cool. Let me get a slice of barbecue pizza. I took two bites and said, let me get another slice because I would need that because that was good. But man, it was just perfect. So I went out there. This was what I do. I packed my luggage, Fly Southwest. You get 2 bags free. So what I did was I was taking a bunch of books because guess who was going to be making his first U.S. appearance? Ed Bennis. That's right, artist extraordinaire. His first U.S. appearance was part of the reason why I wanted to go that year. I was like, oh man, I gotta meet Ed Bennis. He's just a fantastic artist. Big fan of his work. He's done some stuff on Uncanny X-Men, had a long run on Justice League of America, and several other titles. So this was back when I was really getting a lot of book signed still. So I took every Ed Bennis book, damn near every Ed Bennis book that I had. Oh, also some Birds of Prey stuff with Gail Simone. I took them all, and I had two bags of luggage in my carry-on bag, and I packed everything inside the smaller bag of luggage, put it inside the bigger one because I knew I was going to come back with some stuff. You're going to go to Comic-Con, you're going to travel, you're going to be shopping, so I was like, all right, let me build in this buffer so I know I have the room to bring back some stuff, and I was going to pick up some exclusive toys as well. So I'm doing all that, and when I met Ed Bennis, there was this line, and there's a few of us getting a lot of books signed. So what we would do is just take a few at a time, and then we just kind of circle back in line. So like, I think it was at least 3 of us going back through multiple times. So we would go through, the line would get smaller and smaller. It would just end up being us, and it was boom, we just kind of circle through. And again, like I said, this was back when I was really getting books signed. I kind of fallen off of that quite a bit. I don't get as many signed, and a lot of the ones I did, I wish I probably wouldn't have done, but just kind of fallen out of favor with some of those creators. So just tons of books, and I had this Iron Man helmet I took to the convention. I was taking a bunch of pictures, just having fun with some of the props and booths set up around the convention floor. But it was just fun. It's just some of the creators I met. Talked to Marjorie Liu again. I think Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor. And if you don't know who I forgot to pronounce his name, Kevin Graveau. I think is it Graveau? But he was in Underworld, and he was also helped create Blue Marvel for Marvel. And he was walking around the convention floor. And I was walking by. I was just walking around, taking pictures and just exploring the show floor. And so I'm walking by. I was like, oh. I was like, hey, so talk to him for a couple of seconds. Like, oh, it's like, just great to meet you, dude. Like, you're just a cool ass dude. You're just kind of walking around, just strolling around. So that was cool. I probably went to a couple of panels. This was also when Captain America: The First Adventure was coming out I think that weekend. And a bunch of us were in line for something. And they were handing out just like tickets to, for the screening. And me and my buddy, who actually, we weren't there together, but he was out there as well. And we were like, oh, you thinking about going? But then I think we both ended up passing because we could just come back and see it when we got back to town. So we ended up doing that. But yeah, it was just so much cool stuff out there. And it was just fun. And like preview night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I ended up getting a couple toys. There's a couple Sentinels. Well, I got one Sentinel there and one of the Marvel Universe Sentinels on Hasbro Toy Shop when I got back to town. A couple G.I. Joe Zorana figures that are exclusive to Hasbro Toy Shop. That was madness. So it was like just this line. I think you had to take a number, and then we came back, or like I don't know if it was like a voucher to get in line, and then we go through this long ass line. We're sitting in line forever, people going through, and then you get up to the front, and you had this little checklist. I still have it, but I couldn't bring all my props out. But I still have that, and like you could circle, like you had a quantity limit. But then you just circle it and go up there, boom, boom, and you can kind of see everything behind the counter, everything. Like, oh, let me get one of those. I need two of those, and they had just tons of cool exclusives. It was just a fantastic experience. I was glad I got to be able to finally go out there at some point, and I would love to go back, even though everything that's going on with conventions, especially post-COVID, people kind of publishers at least kind of falling off, and obviously comics going to be a big draw from people like collectors and big comic book fans and readers. So seeing all of that and kind of seeing that this year, especially like DC, I think maybe Oni or Dark Horse might be falling off of that, but and a lot of other publishers as well. So I think Marvel, I know IDW even got some news coverage because like they're local to San Diego, so they're expanding their presence there as well, a bigger booth. So I was just walking around, seeing all the publishers and looking at all the toys, tons of pictures. And if you go on my blog right now, by the time you see this, it should be live. I'm kind of bringing back all those old pictures because I realized I didn't start blogging until after, like later that year. So no one outside of people on Facebook has seen any of my pictures from San Diego Comic-Con 2011. So I have about 250 pictures. I cut out a lot of the other ones that were just from around the city, like some of the food stuff. But every other picture I took from connected to San Diego Comic-Con inside the convention center and outside the convention center will be all up. I'll be posting them up throughout the weekend in 3 different parts. So check that out. So yeah, first section will be up to, again, by the time you see this, the first part of that will be up today. So go check that out. And then tomorrow and Sunday as well. So all 3 days dropping all sorts of good convention content, celebrating the return of Comic-Con and celebrating conventions in full style. Yeah, some more memories. Just on I think Saturday evening they had this kind of rave thing. It was late night, and it was just a bunch of nerds just having fun. Some people were still in costumes and just had music playing, and everybody just having a great time. And you see some of the pictures are just absolutely just terrible pictures. Just again taking whatever phone I was using at the time, or no, I think it was still using my digital camera. But it was just dark. Just didn't think of anything like that. Obviously, we much better now, kind of being prepared for that. But yeah, it was just a bunch of people just having fun outside. Just I think it was connected to the convention center right next to it, something like that. But another thing about San Diego Comic-Con, obviously great city, great weather, just tons of stuff in the area, the Gaslight District and everything. You step outside the convention center on like Friday or Saturday midday. I did that, took a few pictures. There's just floods of people, just hundreds and hundreds of people just all around there and walking everywhere. There's restaurants and shops all outside of the convention center. Another thing that's great, even if you didn't have a badge to get into the convention center, get into the convention, you can still go down to the area and still participate because there's lots of shops holding events there, panels, and other just fun activities. I think there's a scavenger hunt too, and just outside, directly outside, just tons of events and like plenty of activities and events to still partake and have all kind of fun, even if you're not actually at San Diego Comic-Con proper. but it's still just fun. And the convention is, just a convention experience is just plenty of fun. Here is, what is this, quick guide, supplement to the events guide. So it just has this programming, a map there, everything. And what the hell is this? Oh, I think there's a bunch of exhibitors. And I'm trying to remember how much shopping I did outside of the exclusive toys. I had to have done some oh my goodness. I got this here. This full spread here. All the publishers probably made my battle plan off of this. Like, oh, I'm gonna go here, 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 kind of bouncing around. And then this last thing, what is this? Daily newsletter of Comic-Con International, Thursday, July 21st, 2020 or 2011. I keep messing that up. And it's kind of sitting out and got attacked by the sun. All sorts of good stuff. And one of my favorite things to do for conventions, which I started, I don't know, before this, was get the convention program and get it signed by comic creators. You'll see the San Diego Comic-Con one here, because I think it was the preview art for DC's New 52. I don't have it handy to bring it up, but I did find some of my other ones. Here's one from Chicago Comic-Con from 2009. So I get the program, especially if it's comic themed, it makes it even better, and get a bunch of comic creators to sign this. And apparently I met Matt Wagner. I don't remember that. But I got Campbell on here, Mike Choi, Dan Slotts, a couple other creators whose names I can't remember. I think I tried to make a note. I started trying to make a note of everybody because I would forget. So I don't know if I did that in here. And then, let me see. I think I tried to. No, I didn't. But they have this whole autograph page, which I should have did it on. And then here's another one, C2E2 with Empire. Oh, wow. So this was... What was this, 2020? Honestly, I don't even remember this art. But yeah, Empire was only a couple years ago, so. But yeah, got Gene Han here. Who else? I don't even recognize that name. I don't recognize most of these. I know one year I had to start making notes. It's like, oh man, just running around getting all these creators and then not recognizing their signatures, or just getting so many within a short time period that I couldn't keep track of them all. But it's just a fun little thing to do, instead of, especially if you didn't bring any books by certain creators signed and you still want to get something signed. It's just something cool. And I usually have a duplicate that I keep blank, or I think one convention I have 2 of these signed because they're just like completely just full of signatures, didn't have any space. So I had to grab a second copy. But that's just fun. There's some other things, not even just San Diego Comic-Con. My very first convention, which I talked about, was Wizard World 2005. Which was such a fantastic experience. I only went one day because I had no idea what I was walking into. Didn't really understand what it was going to be about. I was like, oh, you see it in, picking up Wizard magazine, and I think looked some stuff up online, but it still wasn't much. Again, this is early, it's 2005. I was like, all right, let me check it out one day. Went on Saturday. Figured, why not? Oh man, it was great. No turning back. And picked up so many books. I'm digging through quarter bins, 50-cent bins, 2 for 25 cents. 3 for $1, 4 for $1, whatever. Just all sorts of books. I remember coming back and I counted every comic I picked up. I scored 250 books at that convention. I don't remember how much I paid altogether, but again, I probably didn't pay more than $5, $10 at that time. So I wasn't even getting into bigger books yet, but I had such a ball. I was like, oh man, this is great. I had to go back to my car to unload books. My backpack was so full. At least probably twice to unload books, and it was just so cool seeing all the cosplayers out there, meeting some creators, getting some books signed. Did I get any books signed at first? I don't think so. I think I was just kind of just walking around and ended up shopping most of the day. Tried to check out some panels, which is always cool too. Definitely started going, once I started going full weekends the following year. Like, oh yeah, going into panels, making my battle plan, doing some toy shopping, taking books to get signed. I was like, oh man, it's cool. Get to meet all these creators, all these writers, colorists, inkers, pencilers, and cover artists, everybody, and seeing all the publishers' booths, and just soaking up all that good nerd fun with the cosplayers. It was just a dope experience. And one of the other ones I've had was at C2E2. I think I was cosplaying as Carnage, and came across his family. So usually, especially with C2E2, and I think pretty much every other major convention, they'll do just marketing around the city, prepare like weeks before, and then it's kind of just spreading like just word of mouth and just advertising around the city. Oh, this C2E2 this date at the McCormick place. And so I ran into one family want to take it, like the kids want to take a picture with me because I was cosplaying as Carnage, and it was black family, and dude was like he's like married couple, and I think they had 2 or 3 kids. And he's like, man, he's like, yeah, this is just cool. Like, we just didn't know anything about it, but then we seen it, just saw it posted up around town, and we figured, you know what, like, oh, we're just gonna take the family and go. I was like, man, that's just cool as hell. One, that you just got some people who aren't as well versed into it, don't have as much knowledge, and we're like, oh, you know what, this just looks like something cool to do. So they just take the family and go. Like, just imagine how many people, how much of a convention attendees are like that, and it sees like, oh, like, hey, this might be a cool event. Like, let's go see. It looks colorful, looks fun. Let's go out there. Even just solo person or maybe a couple people. You might take your kids. So it's always one of those things like take your family, take your kids, and it's a great environment just to have some fun. You don't even have to be too deep in the comics, anime, cosplay, movie stuff, TV, and video games. And you just go, just have some fun, take some friends. I've taken friends with me before. But I was like, man, also the other part was cool. Was just like, it's always just good just to see just a black family just out, just having fun and not having to worry about the stressors of being like living in America. So I thought that was just cool as hell. And another thing is just, again, along with the taking friends, I connected with a bunch of people online, like this online community, and we would meet up and at Wizard World every year, and then C2E2 or both when they were kind of running together. Like C2E2 in the spring, early or like late winter, early spring, and then Wizard World / Chicago Comic Con in the summer. So meet up for both, and then walk around the convention together. Some people might have tables for different things if they're shop or an artist alley, and hang out at the tables, or just walk around the convention floor, just shopping together, go eat. And then at night, especially at C2E2, the McCormick place, the hotel lobby is just cracking. Because you got the restaurant, the bar, and then this massive lobby, people out in the lobby just hanging out, just catching them people still in the costume sometimes, and we're hanging out drinking or get food, order food, either at the hotel bar or order pizza or go run out to Harold's. A bunch of restaurants, obviously, right around the way. McDonald's is right next door, basically. And we just hang out in the lobby till 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody starts to fall off. Like, all right, going to bed. This person's going to bed. Everybody's drinking. Lobby's still just full. 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then you wake up and take your time, chill out, hit the convention floor, go back again, and man, it's just so great. Every convention obviously offers something different, depending on where you are. Again, I've been to New York Comic Con, C2E2, Chicago Comic Con / Wizard World, San Diego Comic Con, Emerald City, and Seattle, which was another fantastic show. I definitely want to go back there again. I don't think it was some of the other ones. I think that's as far as traveling, at least San Diego, New York, and Seattle for those 3 conventions. And C2E2 not really traveling because that's a bit more local. But man, it's just so good, and definitely recommend if you go to a convention anywhere. Like if you get a chance, as far as a bigger convention, like step outside the convention floor, and go explore the city. If it's other shows, the one-day shows that I like as well, it's usually, I think most of them I've been to are within a room at a hotel, and a nice sized room. You get a bunch of vendors in there, people just going through just comics, digging through boxes, boxes. People setting up their wall books, and like that's pure comic show. 1 day, 2 days maybe. It might even be bigger than a hotel room, but like a hotel, like a office, not an office space, but not a bar room either. Like one of those just kind of rented rooms that they have, but they're nice size with other spaces, maybe like not to say a small stadium, but there are other spaces available that people rent out for like 1, 2 day shows, and get a bunch of vendors there. You get cosplayers, and it's just a cool experience. I definitely recommend going to a convention some point in your life if you like that. Just a lot to soak up. I think C2E2, I saw the screening of the rebuild of Evangelion. I don't know if it was 1.0 or 2, one of those, and then I think I might have saw 2 of them at 2 different C2E2s, but that was great. Definitely go see like anime. I think one of the C2Es, they had anime just streaming all day in like one of the rooms. You just go pop in, and chill out. You just hang out and just sit and eat, not eat, but just sit and just chill out, watch anime, which was fantastic. Like, oh, what they watching there? I want to say that's with C2E2, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They were just showing anime. I don't know if it was Funimation, but you can definitely go check out the Funimation booth as well. But yes, there's everything convention for, panels, cosplayers, comic dealers, comic vendors. Whenever I go to convention, I definitely like to cover the comic vendors, and you saw that with C2E2 2021. I made a video just going around, just showing a lot of the coverage of some of the comic vendors out there, some of my convention shopping. You saw my haul, tons of cool books, short box booth. I stopped there and showed off some of the books that they had displayed. All the other vendors out there, some big, expensive books, some key books, some graded comics all over. Whatnot, I know a lot of people like the Whatnot auctions. They were there, and yeah, so just turning just all the cool stuff that you can experience at a convention, and some of my fondest memories there, just hanging out with my buddies. We cosplayed as Luke Cage and Iron Fist, Power Man and Iron Fist. We were having absolute ball. You couldn't walk around, like, you take, if anybody's been a cosplayer, you cosplay, especially at a bigger convention, you're getting stopped every few feet for pictures. Oh, can we get a picture? Oh, can my kid get a picture with you? Yeah, sure. And we were just taking pictures, and we find other cosplayers. I know we were doing, we went around with one of my buddies who was Ghost Rider as well. So like three of us had a couple pictures together, just kind of walking around the convention. And we ran into like a Juggernaut cosplayer. So I took some pictures with him, kind of Luke Cage versus Juggernaut cosplay. And then we ran into a group of DC characters, and we took like just some huge battle shots and just big group photos. Those are always fun to do. And like cosplaying, just that community on the positive side of it. There's some negative aspects of it too, but purely positive is like group of people just having fun and kind of getting to a little bit of characters. Like even as Carnage was walking around, he was just exhausted at one point and sitting down at my buddy's booth, and I just passed out because I was just so out of it. Wake up and hit the show floor, walk around again, and you kind of shot, like I'll be in cosplay digging through boxes. Like, oh, can you get a picture? Yeah, sure. Blah, blah, blah. And then go back to digging through boxes, looking for comics. And I guess some of the other things I should mention for conventions, if you're not into crowds, they might not be for you. Unless you're just looking for comics, then the smaller shows are probably a bit better for you. But just be aware, like, you're going to be crowds, there's going to be lines, some things that you should absolutely be aware for. I probably will do another video of the other things to keep in mind heading into a convention. I just want to mention those right there. A couple other things. Cash is king. Convention food and drinks are expensive. If you can bring snacks and drinks, definitely do that. Otherwise, like I said, don't, like, you can absolutely step out to go somewhere else to get food, like I did San Diego, New York, Comic-Con, Emerald City. Like, there's always food places nearby, and you can get food delivered to you. So there's always that option. You don't have to spend those crazy marked up prices for a convention. Another thing that's marked up, sometimes especially now, are the books. Like, other people who have been to other conventions recently have definitely always mentioned, like, all right, yeah, you're not able to find the deals. I feel like you're probably not able to find the deals you used to be able to within the last decade at least. And people just kind of marking up, especially with the pandemic, losing sales. So they're kind of marking up to cover that. And the rise of convention space, the tables, the booths, prices have gone up. So dealers have to hike their prices of their books up and all their other collectibles to make up for that. So they're just not losing money just being in attendance. That is a shame. But you are still able to find some deals, and you could definitely take books to trade and just kind of haggle with dealers, because hey, they're still there. They're trying to make some money. And if they get to take some money back home and come back with those books to pack, that's probably a great deal for them. So it's something that they're interested in. So it's something to keep in mind. But yes, so this is just day one of NACCC, not at Comic-Con. I want to do something fun. Make sure you stay tuned. Come back Saturday and Sunday for more content, lots of convention stuff, everything related to conventions. We are celebrating that. Conventions in general, and the return of Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, Comic-Con International 2022. That's right, all the good fun. Again, go check out the blog, Geno's Comics, for more content as well. See more of my photo gallery from San Diego Comic-Con 2011. Again, fantastic experience. So that is that. And I invite all of you to not only share your favorite convention memories and tips in the comments below, but also create your own content, join in the fun, share some create some videos, some convention content, some of your favorite convention memories, some of the books that you picked up, all of that. Let's share. We're gonna share for everybody who's not at San Diego Comic-Con. We can still have some more fun, soaking up whatever, all the information and that comes out of there, but also kind of sharing in this and just creating and just kind of sharing it in the community together. So let's do it. Let's have some fun. Happy reading, happy hunting and collecting. This is Geno's Comics. Thanks for watching and peace out.